Good afternoon, Rich Santos here. I'm back from my third video, kayak fishing tips number 3. I'm going to mostly cover fly casting out of a kayak to help you improve in that area. The fly lines I'm using primarily floating lines, weight forward floating lines with a short head on them of about 30 foot. The Sly Angler redfish taper is a really good one. You want a shorter head on those fly lines so that you can get the weight of that fly line out a lot faster in a kayak for shorter casts. That shorter head is really made for shorter casts, which we end up doing and utilizing most of the time when you're fly fishing out of a kayak. One of the first things I do is I stretch this fly line out. I always put the fly line piled up between my legs and keep it out all the time so you're ready to cast. No sense in reeling it in, casting it out, reeling it in all the time. Extra work that you don't need. But I'll strip out all this line, whatever how far you think you can cast, that's how much line you take out. Maybe 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, whatever it might be, whatever you're comfortable with. And the idea is to really cast. We're going to get all this fly line out and get it stretched out. This really should be done before you launch, is to take your fly line, stretch it out at the truck where you can actually step on it underneath your foot like this. Okay, you can, while you're standing, put it under your foot like this and stretch it. You just need like some type of an anchoring system that will stop you front and back, bow and stern. If you have just one anchor in the back or just one stakeout pole on the side of you, you still could swing, which is an issue. If you don't stop the kayak front and back, okay, the kayak's going to swing and your fly line's going to get a big bow in it. As soon as the fly lands on the water, put your rod tip down and start stripping. And make sure you follow that fly line. If that fly line is moving out with the current, you're going to follow your rod tip right along with it. There's 2 really important casting tips that I want to share with you here that will help you with casting distance and just fishing around structure and things like that. Your rod tip should always travel in a straight line path so that you have a tight, narrow loop. If you have a tight, narrow loop, that loop and fly line and fly are going to travel further and penetrate the wind better. Rod tip down and strip. Not up here. Here. Is always begin your casting stroke with the rod tip on top of the water surface again. Your casting stroke, which is how far that rod tip travels from where it initially stopped on the forward cast and where it stopped on the back cast. Okay, I'm going to start my casting stroke down here on top of the water surface, and I'm going to stop the rod tip high on my back cast back here. Okay, just picture the face of a clock. Okay, you're going to stop your rod tip down at the 3:34 o'clock position, and then you're going to stop your back cast on the 9:30, 10 a.m. position. Okay, you don't want to be parallel to the water, and the reason that you should have this, what they call trajectory angle, okay, of where your rod tip travels in that casting stroke, is so that you can prevent the fly from hitting on your back cast. If your rod tip is low on your back cast, that there's a good chance that that fly is going to hit the water in back of you, which a lot of fly fishing kayakers have that issue. Really keep your fly in the water as long as you can by just casting to the structure that's 45 or 50 feet out there. Again, just strip it in 10-15 feet around the structure, and then just pick up the whole fly line. Whatever's left, maybe 30 feet or 35 feet, and that 35 feet of fly line is going to load and bend your rod. It has enough weight to load and bend your rod. So you could just do one back cast and then shoot it back out again, just like this. One back cast, one forward cast again, and I'm just past that structure again. See, strip it in, 10-15 feet, fish it. You're past the structure, pick up the fly line, shoot it one back cast. Another important issue when you're out here fly casting and it's windy is to try to keep your rod tip low. So you're casting your fly line under the wind. So you have to go more to a sidearm cast instead of an overhead cast. Your general cast is usually between 15 and 45 degrees, like so. But when it's windy, you need to keep that rod tip lower, closer to 90 degrees almost, just like that. This way you're able to go underneath the wind. Now, another real important thing with casting in the wind is you really need to double haul. Double haul will increase your line speed, therefore it will load and bend the rod more, so it stores more power to cast that line into the wind. It's another quick point. When you're going down these creeks, give yourself plenty of room on your casting arm side. If you're a right-handed caster, go down the left side of the creek. You've always got to be aware of your back cast.